my dear Awi sisters, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm thrilled to be here today to be part of the second African Women Investors International Business and Investment Conference. I am particularly honored to be speaking before a distinguished audience of some of the most visionary women in this country. I would like to extend a warm welcome to our sisters from the diaspora and guests from within Kenya and those from abroad. I would also like to thank the organizing committee once again and the leaders of AWI for making it possible for us to be here again. I firmly believe that women entrepreneurs and investors can drive economic growth and uplift their families, but only if they are given tools and enabled to realize their full potential in partnership with businesses, governments, civil society to improve the opportunities and outcomes in local and global value chains. You will agree with me, for when women are stronger financially, everyone benefits, and it starts with us gathered in this room. I intend to use this opportunity to share with you my observations of where women stand in the investment trajectory and to highlight strategies for creating enduring local, regional, and global partnerships, impact investments, and gendered lens wealth management. As I said a year ago, in this very building and actually very room, I have long been an advocate for better financial education and empowerment of women. And as a professional woman with a long career in finance, I have and continue to embrace financial inclusion of women in all facets of finance, including investment and wealth management. But I often wonder, what is standing in the way of women to reach their full potential as entrepreneurs and investors? Evidence point to a few theories: fear and a lack of drive to engage in business and investing, lack of knowledge and resources, lack of support from our life partners and family members, structural inhibitors. We hear women can't do this, women can't do that, yet we know we can do it. An equal opportunity between men and women in access to financial resources. What can be done, particularly here in Kenya and the African continent, to unleash the potential of women to achieve their full economic potential? Statistics indicate that few women have the knowledge and or awareness about sophisticated wealth building and management strategies. My generation's lifelong strategies cannot work in today's globalized economy, and so financial, investment, and wealth management knowledge remains paramount for our success. 98% of women are entrepreneurs. Their activities fuel and power Africa's economy and that of Kenya in particular. The market women of Kikomba, those in Lagos, Accra, Dar es Salaam, and Kampala, just to mention a few, contribute 46% towards Africa's GDP, according to UN Women Report 2010. Wealth, relative to men, very few women invest in the Nairobi Securities Exchange. Yet, we know that the Nairobi Securities Exchange major shareholders make a sizable profit from dividends and capital gains. How many women are in private equity and venture capital as alternative vehicles of creating wealth? Kenya's diaspora remittances in 2018 stood at Kenya shillings 280 billion. This is from a World Bank report. Think about this wealth creation and economic building formula. Untapped women potential, untapped diaspora and especially women's potential. And I know these ladies work so hard. The results would be extraordinary. But the question is, how do we do it? AWI has set us on this path. There are African women from the diaspora working with our sisters living within the continent to unleash economic growth that has been latent. This is a winning game plan to spur economic growth within the African continent. But we must empower them by creating structures and institutions. But what is women's economic empowerment? When we speak of women's economic empowerment, we refer to women's economic rights, including equal access to, ownership of and control over land, property, productive assets, and resources, including finance and capacity building, and access on an equal basis as men to decent work and full and productive employment. Their economic independence or full ability to freely assert their autonomy and exercise their choices, and their full access to decision making in all economic decisions that affect their lives and the lives of their families, communities, and societies. But these three aspects of empowerment must be recognized and promoted as an integral whole. If one aspect fails, the full empowerment cannot be realized, and the whole sustainable development future is jeopardized. Women's economic empowerment generates tremendous dividends for the society. If women and men have equal access to land, technology, financial services, education, and markets, the consequent 20 to 30% increase in agricultural produce on women's farms could lead to 100 to 150 million less hungry people. If women and men stood on identical footing in terms of participation in the economy through paid work and entrepreneurship, the world could see as much as $28 trillion in global growth by 2025. That would be the equivalent of the GDP of US and China combined. There is growing global consensus on women's economic empowerment as a force multiplier for good governance, economic growth, poverty eradication, ending hunger, and achieving food security and nutrition, achieving sustainable consumption and production patterns, and environmental sustainability and overall achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. Indeed, gender equality and women's empowerment are integral to Kenya's own Vision 2030 and the 2020 Agenda for Sustainable Development, adopted by the United Nations General Assembly in September 2015. Let me echo the value of this conference theme by highlighting a few examples. If you want to go faster, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. Our forefathers could not have been more right about this. Across the world, we see business interests come together and form partnerships. Similarly, we see governments come together to tackle some of the most intractable world problems. As women investors and entrepreneurs, we must also think of forging partnerships that help us to gain strategic advantages. Think of any great company here in Kenya, and for that matter, anywhere in the world. You will find that they are made of many individuals or corporate entities that have come together for a common goal. They all know that there is strength in unity, and when individual talents are aggregated, greater results occur. At this point in the development of AWI, it is imperative that you carefully consider partnership with other like-minded organizations that will help you advance to the next level. With us today are leaders and decision makers from many successful companies. Let us use the networks that you have established through our interactions with them. A global partnership that has taken the beverage industry by storm is the recent one between Starbucks and Google. Starbucks, the global coffee chain, creates a conducive environment for professionals and students to get work done while enjoying serene space. A faster internet access from Google sets a better stage to welcome more customers. Who would have imagined that a coffee outlet can partner with a telecommunications company? Yeah, it would have been unheard of, but that is. I want you to think for a minute what our economies would look like if women came together for such ventures. I'm privileged to stand here because AWI have recognized this and are leading the way in bringing African women from across the world to invest together. Impact investments targets a range of returns from below market to market rate. Herein lies the challenge. A single term, impact investing, is used to describe distinct strategies that are likely to appeal to different types of investors, such as the high net worth individuals, governments, private foundations, impact investing fund intermediaries, and financial institutions. According to the Financial Times, 84% of women say they are interested in investing for impact and sustainability versus 67% of men. Ladies, please clap for yourselves. The reason I would like to bring this up is that as entrepreneurs and investors, we have a choice. A choice in the type of businesses we would like to engage in and in the types of investment that we pick. We have a choice in the type of outcomes our investments are likely to yield, not only in terms of financial returns, but also social and cultural outcomes. According to a World Bank study presented at the March 2019 World Economic Forum, women reinvest 90% of their earnings back into their families and communities, focusing on education and health in particular. Think about that for a moment. Women investors are seeking to make an impact with their investments, ready to combine their conscience with financial firepower. But it is not always easy to find the kinds of investment opportunities that can align with conscience-driven and impact investing. Herein lies an opportunity for us and our business leaders who are with us here today. Now, wealth management is a key ingredient in creating and sustaining long-term wealth. As we all know, a journey of 10,000 miles begins with one step. So does wealth management. This journey of financial expertise starts with a consultative process of learning and understanding the minutiae of financial services and products that are fundamental in achieving long-term wealth. This is important for women in a number of ways. We all know we outlive our husbands in most instances. As women investors and entrepreneurs, we have to be smart. Being smart means being able to identify opportunities when they present themselves and executing them at the right time. It also means being able to leverage our networks to get relevant information at all the times. We must be resilient. As AWI grows as a business, you must build a capability to bounce back from adversity without killing the business. Your investments must be impactful, not only to the lives of the shareholders, but to the lives in the society you live in. As I conclude, I would like again to reiterate that it is my great honor and delight to share with you these thoughts while celebrating the second year of AWI as a vehicle for women investors, and for organizing the second AWI Business and Investment Summit as a platform to learn from each other.